Hey, fourth graders. So we're going to wrap up this unit with a video on subtracting mixed numbers. Now, I showed you a couple of videos ago how to do that with the fraction models, and I think that that is a great way to go. All right, so if we're looking at this and you're like, ooh, these strategies seem a little tricky, use those fraction models. I'm going to show you in this video with the fraction models just to remind you, and then I'm also going to show you how to do that subtraction with the mixed numbers, okay? So this is very similar to adding mixed numbers, right? One strategy that you can use and you'll see in your lesson is to change the mixed number into an improper fraction, subtract, and then change it back into a mixed number. And that's always a valid strategy that you can use, but you just have to be careful because it's adding extra steps, and extra steps always give extra opportunity for mistakes. All right, so I personally like to eliminate as many steps as possible because that gives me less of a chance of making a mistake. But that's up to you. If you want to change them into improper fractions to subtract, go for it. All right, I'm not going to show that strategy because, like I said, I think that it just leaves too much room for mistake. But if that's the strategy you prefer, then that's absolutely fine. Okay, so let's start out. Let's say I have 5 and 4/8 minus 3 and 3/8. All right, now this would be an easy example because there's no regrouping involved. And what I mean by that is I can do 4/8 minus 3/8, right? 4 minus 3 is 1, and my 8th is on the bottom, and then 5 minus 3 is 2. So the answer would be 2 and 1/8. That's a pretty easy example, but I just wanted to give that to you so you could see it. Because some of them don't involve regrouping. But what if I had, let's say, 3 and, we'll stick with 4/8 minus 2 and 5/8. All right? We have to be really careful with our subtraction because some people are going to go, well, 4 minus 5 is 1. But that's not true. It's not. If I have 4/8, I can't take away 5/8. I don't have 5/8 to take away. I have to regroup. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we do that with subtraction and mixed numbers. Just like when we're doing whole numbers, you go next door to borrow some more, right? But in this case, these are ones. All right, so when you're doing regrouping with subtraction and whole numbers, when you're going next door to borrow some more, you're borrowing 10 of whatever that is next door. So 10 tens or 10, you're borrowing tens to make ones, or you're borrowing hundreds to make tens. In this case, we're borrowing ones. So we have to remember that we're borrowing wholes, one whole. So this is still going to go down by 1. That's going to go to a 2. But over here, we're not just putting a little 1 in front of that and making that 14/8. We're adding one whole. And whatever the whole is depends on the denominator. In this case, it's an 8, so 8/8 is a whole. All right, so 8 plus 4 is 12/8. All right, so now I've regrouped, and I'm going to do 12/8 minus 5/8. That I can do. All right, 12 minus 5 is 7, and then I have my 8th, and then 2 minus 2 is nothing. So 3 and 4/8 minus 2 and 5/8 equals 7/8. All right, if I wanted to represent this as a picture, remember I would draw my 3 wholes. All right. So let me draw that and shade it first. So I have my 3 wholes. 1, 2, 3, and 4/8 of another whole. Oops. It's not my best drawing of a fraction, but that's okay. All right, so I have my 3 and 4/8. I am going to cross out 2 wholes and 5/8. When I'm crossing out, I usually start with my whole number just because in my brain that works easier, okay? So I'm going to cross out 2 wholes, all right, and then 5/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you see I don't have any wholes left. I only have that 7/8 left, which is what I got when I did the subtraction with regrouping. Okay, so again, if this strategy is your better strategy, use this strategy. But I'm going to show you a couple more with this regrouping because it's not too tricky. You just remember you're pulling a whole out from the whole number, so then you have to add a whole. Whatever the numerator is, or whatever the denominator is, the numerator needs to be the same. All right, and it doesn't matter what the denominator is, you still do it the same way. So let's see here. If I have, let's say, 7 and, let's say, 3/6 minus 4 and 5/6. All right, I look at my fractions and I see 3 minus 5, and I know I can't do that. I can't take 3/6, or I can't take 5/6 away because I don't have 5/6. So I have to go over here. That 7 needs to turn into a 6. I'm borrowing a whole, and I'm going to add, in this case, my denominator 6. So I'm going to add 6/6, right? 3 plus 6 is 9. Denominator stays the same. So now I'm doing 9/6 minus 5/6. Now I can do that. 9 minus 5 is 4, and 6 minus 4 is 2. All right, I'm going to do one more example of this, and then I want you to practice it. Think carefully about what you're doing. As long as you remember, when you're regrouping, you're borrowing a whole, so you have to add a whole to the fraction. And a whole is the same numerator and denominator. It's key that you remember that one whole is the same numerator and denominator. Okay. I actually think subtraction with regrouping in with mixed numbers is easier than addition with mixed numbers and regrouping, because the addition, sometimes we just forget to do it because we've added and we're like, hey, we're done. And then we just don't notice that we need to regroup. But with the subtraction, you notice right away that you need to regroup. So it's just something you really have to be paying attention to. All right, let's see here. What if I have 4 and 5/8 minus 2 and 3/8? Oh, wait, not 3/8. Let's see here. That's 2 and 7/8. There we go. I want to do it where I'm going to have to regroup. I wouldn't have to regroup with a 3. All right. 5 minus 7, I can't do that. It's not 2. 5 minus 7 does not equal 2. If I have 5, I can't take 7 away. I don't have 7. I have to regroup. That 4 is going to become a 3. Right here, I have to add 8/8 because I'm adding one whole. 5 plus 8 is 13. All right, and I just cross this out just so it's out of the way. You don't have to do that. That's just why I'm doing that. All right, now I'm doing 13 minus 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It equals 6/8. And then 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 and 6/8. All right, so that's really all there is to it, guys. When we're doing addition and subtraction with fractions and with mixed numbers, you're remembering it's the same thing as adding and subtracting whole numbers. All right, when it comes to the mixed numbers, when I'm doing it where I'm drawing it, you can draw it out with the fraction strips, or you can do it where you're doing this regrouping. You just have to remember how to do the regrouping and think carefully. Again, you can use the strategy of changing these numbers into improper fractions first, then subtracting, and then changing them back. But it's just adding a couple of extra steps where you may or may not make a mistake. And so you just really want to be very, very careful with that, okay? If you have any questions, please make sure you let us know. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day. Good luck with the rest of your lesson, and I'll see you next time.